Well, good morning, everybody. It's still relatively early. I did a Facebook Live this morning that went on for about almost an hour. This is going to be a little bit of a rant, okay? So those of you who don't like my rants, be gone with you. There's no point in hanging about. I'm going to rant. And I am upset. I'm actually very upset. I'm very, very upset. Because they're starting another badger cull. Do they take advice from Disney Productions for their use of words? Badger cull. Cull. Sounds wonderfully gentle and wonderful and magical. We're having a badger cull. It's a badger kill. A badger kill. Isn't it amazing how the powers that be continue to use these words that take us away from the reality of what they're really doing? You know, they kind of duck and dive all over the English language, choosing their words, creating words, putting more words into our vocabulary to pull the wool over our eyes. They're starting another badger kill. The badgers apparently are a big threat to growing meat. Because if you have cows, and let's face it, we're going to have more and more cows, more and more sheep, because the human race are demanding more meat. And so they have to kill the wildlife, because you cannot have animals that you've bred for meat alongside wildlife. The two don't match. The two don't benefit each other. So they take more and more of the land that belongs to the wildlife and they use it for growing meat. And in the middle of this meat growing nonsense that they're going on about, there's no room for woodland like this. There is no room for trees. There's no room for proper hedgerows. There's no room for diversification. There's no room for Mother Earth. There's no room for anything other than greed and money. Can't have enough money. No, you can't have enough money. No, the latest big house isn't enough. The latest big vehicle isn't enough. The latest foreign holiday isn't enough. Let's have a kill. Let's kill more. If you think I'm exaggerating, that the establishment loves killing, that those who own the land and own much of this Mother Earth loves killing. Oh, they can't get enough of killing. What did I hear on the news this morning? BBC Radio 4? People in the UK no longer allowed to gather in groups of more than 6. However, oh, by the way, that includes anything, outdoors, indoors, wherever. Groups of 6. However, if you're going killing, if you have a gun and you want to join up with 29 mates and go killing, that's allowed. So killing groups of up to 30 are allowed. So what I suggest people do, if they want to meet up, you know, and have a bit of a party, get tooled up, get yourself a gun, you know, legally. Call yourself a shooting party and have a big barbecue on your back lawn. Does this make sense? Does any of this make sense? Do you think you're being fooled? Is there a massive amount of wool being pulled down over your eyes? I don't get it? Is it little wonder that my sole existence has been boiled down into being a hermit here in these 3 acres? I am so sick of killing. One of the reasons why I was so eager to leave the UK back in 2004 was because of what happened in 2003. I mean, it was a catalyst for me because it allowed me the space to throw common sense and everything that people were talking about up in the air and say, oh, that's it, I've had enough, I'm off. Because you know what happened in 2003, despite all the protests, Tony Blair, warmonger extraordinaire, took the UK into an illegal invasion. Thousands of people died. Thousands of people were killed. I care so much for the animals because we're supposed to care for them. We're supposed to care for all this. Pandemics, I think we're going to see a lot more pandemics. Because if there's one thing that is understood within all the sciences, and it's what James Lovelock set out to prove, is that the earth is a living, sentient being who manages to control life in that she will ensure that life will go on. And she does it through balancing. She balances all the time. Not out of anger or greed or any of those human emotions. She just keeps herself balanced in order to sustain life. If we are going to deliberately, ruthlessly, with nothing more than a bloodlust on us, to create woeful imbalance, to say all these creatures, they need to go because we can't eat them. Badgers don't taste very nice. We want these creatures because we can eat those. So we'll create a monoculture. We'll take everything out of the landscape that threatens these creatures, the ones that we like to eat, and then we can put more of those onto the landscape. Oh, and then we can all moan and groan that, oh, isn't it terrible? We have a pandemic. Oh, where do these pandemics come from? Do you know where most of them come from? In fact, I think all of them come from the natural world. And they come from the natural world because we keep on taking more and more and more of the natural world because we're greedy. I don't have television, so I didn't get to see the David Attenborough programme last night. But from what I've heard, it's left many, many people upset. But you know what the problem is there? We're not upset enough. Because if we were upset enough, we'd be making decisions and coming up with solutions to the situation that we now find ourselves in. Here am I, look, with all these little seedling trees. I keep growing trees. I keep growing trees because I'm probably just a stupid woman who won't give up, who won't say, you know, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel. I keep growing these trees. Got a load of them over here, look. See? Load of them. Nowhere left to plant them. That's all I want to do is plant trees. There isn't a damn government in the West who would support that. They don't support that. They don't support any of that. They support killing. That's where the resources go. That's where the money goes. Follow the money. Desperate straits. I am retreating. I feel so angry about what is being done to the natural world. And I've felt angry for quite some time now. I think I'm going to retreat. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to write. I'm just going to go onto my website and write and post photographs about this. And imagine around Bealtaine Cottage there's a huge, huge wall with a big moat on the other side. And on the other side of that, maybe a huge lake filled with alligators and crocodiles. It is simply appalling. And you know, this may interest you as well. I went on to Facebook this morning to update, the Facebook page and put a location in so people could find this place on Google Maps. So you can go onto there, onto the Facebook page, and you can click on to the Google Map. And you'll see all the planting, all the trees. You'll see a little space and a sort of a driveway, and then you'll see all the trees. But then pull out from it. So you're pulling back and you're seeing more and more of the landscape around. And over on the left, you'll see something very dark, almost malevolent. And you'll see it's got straight lines around it. That's the monoculture, Sitka spruce. That's the monoculture trees. That people in this country and in Scotland and in England and all parts of the world think is okay. The monoculture, that's almost like the manifestation of the monoculture mind. There's no life there. There's only greed. And I look out upon the landscape of Ireland and I see more and more and more of this. It's going up everywhere. I've got it to the left of me. I've got it to the right of me. The stuff on the right was planted, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And there's more. There's more coming. I've no doubt that all the land behind me will be planted with Sitka spruce. That's coming down the line. Because the insurance companies and the pension funds and those people who sit in their offices making money like that, they're offering so much money for this land because there's so many subsidies from the government to plant monoculture. Do you know, of all the subsidies from government, which is our tax money, by the way, if all those subsidies were taken away, like the subsidies for growing meat and the subsidies for growing monoculture trees, you know, monoculture animals, monoculture trees are all subsidised. That's something I resent. I resent that. I resent my tax money being used to subsidise the killing of Mother Earth, to subsidise ecocide, to subsidise the killing of badgers. I resent that. There we go. The rant is over. I've got it off my chest. It's here on YouTube, and I'm going to retreat. I'm going to retreat to my website now. Blessings to you all.